Today on Rappler. Philippine senators slammed the recruitment agency of OFW Jullebee Ranara. Despite his family's tax evasion cases, President Marcos is the poster boy of the BIR's campaign to pay the right taxes. U.S. President Biden pushes for higher taxes for billionaires during his State of the Union address. The South Korean parliament votes to impeach its interior minister over the deadly Itaewon Halloween crush. Turkey declares a state of emergency as the country's death toll rises to at least 8,700. South Korean boy group ENHYPEN makes history with their MANIFESTO tour in Manila. And NBA star LeBron James takes the NBA all-time scoring record. Senators Raffy Tulfo and Joel Villanueva grill a representative of the recruitment agency of slain overseas Filipino worker Jullebee Ranara. The senators point to a lack of monitoring of Ranara's situation before she was killed in Kuwait. Lawyer David Castillon of Catalyst International Manpower Services says the agency regularly checked on Ranara's situation in her employer's home. The agency also saw she was regularly posting on her social media accounts and did not see indications that she was being abused. Castillon says one particular post he took note of was a video with text saying in Filipino, "Kung masama pumatol sa bata, I'm sorry." Tulfo points out that the agency members should have spoken to Ranara's employer since they noticed there was something going on. The Department of Migrant Workers earlier reported that the licenses of Catalyst and its foreign counterpart were suspended following Ranara's death. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. is the main endorser for BIR's campaign promoting the importance of paying the right taxes. The Marcos family has yet to comply with a tax deficiency estate tax assessment issued by the BIR in 1991, amounting to 23 billion pesos.
I encourage the public to pay the correct amount of taxes on time to support the country's economic recovery and expansion.
Marcos lauds the BIR's Run After Tax Evaders campaign and enumerated its 2022 achievements. 115 cases filed before the Justice Department, totaling 5.1 billion pesos in tax liabilities. The BIR was targeting to collect another 3.58 billion pesos in tax liabilities through the recent filing of tax evasion cases, but it remains unclear whether the president's family was among those being pursued. Meanwhile, Marcos heads to Japan for a visit that is expected to pave the way for closer security ties with Tokyo. U.S. President Joe Biden proposes higher taxes for billionaires and corporate stock buybacks during his State of the Union address as part of his push to restructure the U.S. economy to be less favorable to the very wealthy. Biden, who signed into law a 1% tax on corporate stock buybacks last year, used his speech to call for that to be quadrupled, as well as renew his calls for higher taxes on billionaires. Investors say while the chances of such a proposal passing in the Republican-controlled Congress were low, it could have some bearing on investor behavior. If companies sense such a tax is imminent, it might spur them to speed up buybacks and eventually shift toward paying dividends instead. Biden also calls for a billionaire minimum tax aimed at taxing stocks, bonds, or privately held companies of high net worth individuals. The Tax Foundation says the proposal would create difficulty for an overwhelmed Internal Revenue Service and complexity for taxpayers. South Korean lawmakers vote to impeach Interior Minister Lee Sang-min over his responses to a deadly Halloween crush, setting the stage for him to become the country's first cabinet member ousted by the legislature. The Parliament's Justice Committee will review the motion before sending it to the Constitutional Court, who will decide whether to uphold the impeachment. The Democrats and other opposition parties pushed to expel Lee, urging him to bear responsibility for the slow response to the crush. The October 29 incident killed 159 people and injured 196 when revelers flooded narrow alleyways in Itaewon to enjoy the Halloween festivities. Lee and the police faced criticism over their handling of the tragedy, especially after publicly released transcripts of emergency calls showed many citizens warned of impending danger. President Yoon Suk-yeol also rejected the opposition's demand that he sack Lee. Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan declares a state of emergency on Tuesday, February 7, in 10 provinces devastated by Monday's 7.8 magnitude quake. This is the country's deadliest since 1999. Latest figures say the death toll stands at more than 8,700 across southern Turkey and neighboring Syria. A day after the quakes hit, rescuers working in harsh conditions are struggling to dig people out of the rubble of collapsed buildings in a quote-unquote race against time. Meantime, the Philippines is set to send an interagency disaster response team to Turkey. The team includes well-trained disaster responders with experience in earthquake-hit areas in Bohol in 2013 and Nepal in 2015 and 2019. In the Philippines, state seismologists from PHIVOLTS call for more disaster preparedness in Mindanao following the series of earthquakes that were felt in the southern Philippines. Experts advise it is best to be prepared for the big one, given the recent seismic activities felt in the country's second-largest island. South Korean boy group ENHYPEN makes history with their MANIFESTO concert in Manila, becoming the first K-pop group to hold 3 consecutive sold-out shows at the Mall of Asia Arena. Over the weekend of February 3 to 5, BLIFT Lab says a total of roughly 27,000 Filipino ENGENEs attended the group's 3-night residency. The group kicks off the 2.5-hour show with their hard-hitting debut track Given Taken and performs hits like Drunk Dazed, Blessed Cursed, Go Big or Go Home, Future Perfect, and Fever. A highlight of the show was when ENHYPEN serenaded ENGENEs up close and interacted with the crowd during its Polaroid Love performance. The members also expressed their bewilderment at their huge throng of supporters in the Philippines, with member Jungwon calling Filipino fans, quote, the most passionate. The Manila show served as the group's last stop for MANIFESTO, ENHYPEN's first concert world tour since their 2020 debut. Los Angeles Lakers star LeBron James takes the NBA all-time scoring record for most points in league history. James eclipses Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's mark of 38,387 career regular season points during the third quarter of the Lakers game against the visiting Oklahoma City Thunder. Abdul-Jabbar, who was sitting courtside, stood and applauded as James celebrated. The former Lakers star and NBA Commissioner Adam Silver both shook James' hand and gave him brief hugs at center court. Other NBA players also react to James' achievement. Magic Johnson, Los Angeles Lakers great, says this historic moment is so special because we will never see another LeBron James. Kevin Durant of the Brooklyn Nets says, much love and keep setting the bar high. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver says it's a towering achievement that speaks to his sustained excellence over 20 seasons in the league. And that's today's wrap. I'm Marguerite De Leon. Thank you for watching. Click the link below for the full story. Follow us on Rappler's YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.